Good morning. Thanks for joining us today at the St. Louis Home Chat. I'm your host, Angela Dillmon at the Dillmon Group, powered by Keller Williams Realty Chesterfield, the #1 selling office in St. Louis. Today we're here to talk to you about countertops. You're like, what do you want to talk to me about countertops for? And the reason I want to talk to you about it is because the #1 way to increase the value of your home is in your kitchen and your baths. And your countertops are really important in that endeavor. So today, to help us with countertops is Lacy at Cabinets and Granite. And today we're going to talk about granite versus quartz versus solid surface. What's the difference? Is one have an advantage over another? Is one more expensive than the other? Which way should I go? There's so many choices today, Lacy. So tell me today, what is granite? Where does it come from? And what is it?
Granite is rock. It's from the ground. It's from a quarry. They cut it, slice it, polish it, and then they send it to the wholesalers, the retailers. So it's rock made under very high heat, very high pressure. Depending on where in the world it comes from is going to determine the coloring, the pattern, the availability of it.
Okay,
as well.
So it's a natural stone just picked right out of the ground.
Yep.
So how is that compared to quartz? What is quartz?
So quartz is granite, but it's crushed up granite, and then it's colored to whatever color they want, and then it's held together with an epoxy.
So it's a man-made epoxy with granite.
Correct.
They put dyes in it to get whatever color or pattern they want?
Correct.
They can do patterns in it too. Okay. And so is there a disadvantage because there's a man-made epoxy in it?
The disadvantage can be the epoxy, depending on the brand or what kind of epoxy is used. There have been some cases where it can burn if you set a hot pot directly on it.
Okay.
With granite, you don't have that issue because it is rock made under high heat.
Yeah, so I love my granite. I set stuff right out of the oven on it all the time. So you're saying with quartz, I might have to be a little bit more careful.
We just recommend using a hot pad, which everyone's pretty much used to anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Especially people don't think about a crock pot sitting on there. It gets pretty hot on the bottom. So we just suggest using a cutting board to elevate it up so it's not directly on it.
Okay, great. So now let's compare the quartz to solid surface. What is solid surface?
Well, solid surface is just kind of a mixture of a lot of things. We just researched it. I think it was like
so we're not using a natural stone in a solid surface at all.
Not so much.
So we were talking about the hardness scale a little earlier. Granite on the hardness scale being like a 7.
Mm-hmm.
What's a quartz on the hardness scale?
I think it's about that because it is made up of the rock.
Granite.
Yeah. So the only thing that makes it possibly scratch would be the epoxy that's in it.
The epoxy that's in it. So solid surface, what's it on a hardness
really
scale?
Low.
Really
I don't even know what it is.
Okay, so the harder the stone, the less likely it's going to scratch.
Correct.
Okay, so on the solid surface, what are you finding the problems are with it then?
Over the years, it was really big in like kind of the 90s and the early 2000s. It does scratch. They say, oh, you can buff it out because it's colored all the way through, which is great, but when you buff it, you eventually kind of get divots, and it's not a hard product that's necessarily good for someone that uses their kitchen a lot.
Okay, so not necessarily the best choice on solid surface. Stick to your granite, stick to your quartz.
Yes.
So what's silestone and corian then? I hear those names all the time. What are those? Is that a different product?
Those are brand names, actually, and they've kind of marketed themselves on that product. So now when people think of quartz, they associate that immediately with
silestone or corian.
Correct.
Okay.
And they both offer quartz, and I believe they offer solid surface as well.
Okay. So just because you're getting a silestone counter doesn't necessarily mean it's a quartz counter. It could be a solid surface.
Correct.
So you're going to have to watch what you're choosing and ask some questions there.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about maintenance. What do I need to do to maintain granite versus maintaining a quartz product?
So maintaining granite is really simple. Like we said, you can put hot pots on it. Like we said, it's very hard, so you can cut on it. It will probably dull your knife because the steel of your knife is less hard than the granite.
I can attest to that. I cut all the time on my granite and it did dull my knife.
So the only really maintenance maintenance thing that you have to do with granite is you do have to seal it. It's very easy when we do our install. We put a 1-year sealer on it.
Okay.
So then a year from now you would need to seal it. It's something you can purchase at Lowe's or Home Depot, Walmart, wherever. And it's very easy to put on. I seal my displays in here, so if I can do it,
anybody can
do it. It's really easy, right?
Now, is there maintenance to a quartz product?
You don't have to seal quartz like you do with the granite because it is solid. But we do caution with the possibility of it burning. And then just kind of if you use a spot for a long time, it can kind of, take the polish away. It just kind of depends on how you use it.
Can you have it repolished?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm sure we could do something on it, but it's just kind of always going to be there.
Okay, so let's talk about pricing. I want to remodel my kitchen, and let's say maybe I want to sell it in the next 2 or 3 years. What's the better pricing wise? Is granite a better choice for pricing, or is quartz?
So when people come in and they're trying to decide, I ask them, how long are you staying in the house?
Okay.
If it's up to 5 years and they know they're going to sell it, then I suggest doing a granite that's $42.95 or below. It's still really pretty, but they're not putting a huge investment in, basically for someone else to enjoy.
Okay, so not a big award. What does granite start at? Pricing?
$28.95 is where it starts.
And that's installed, right? So $28.95 is your base price. I get to choose from how many colors?
We have 3 in that.
3 pattern. And then what's my next level up from there?
The next level up would be $35 a square foot.
So 35 square foot installed. And I get how many more patterns?
Probably 6 to 9, depending on what we have in stock.
Okay, a whole lot more. And then when I go up from there?
Probably another 5, 6, 7 from there.
Okay, somewhere around $42 or $43 installed.
Yes.
Now, what's the price of quartz? What's the lowest price quartz with installation I can get a square foot?
So our lowest price quartz right now is $50 a square foot. It's usually our solid quartz. So
solid quartz. You have one of those over here?
Yes,
something
right
like
here.
that.
So something that more modern people are looking for, a really sleek look. We have solid white, solid gray, and then this, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's really sparkly. We have that as well.
So if you want a more modern look, you really need to go to quartz as
Absolutely.
opposed to going to granite. So that's a reason to choose quartz
Yes,
there.
yes.
So that's $50. Why is it so much more expensive than the $28.95 starting out on granite?
So our granite, our lower pricing, we can offer that because we import our own. We don't purchase it through a wholesaler. The downtown ones that you can go in and look at.
All right.
So we can offer those less because we don't have that middleman markup.
Okay, so with the quartz though, it's man-made, so you have to buy it. You can't buy it straight out of the ground from someone. You've got to buy it from somebody who's literally making the stone for you.
Yes. So that we do have to, work with someone. Yeah.
All right. So from the 50, which is the more modern kind of solid colors, then what's the next level up from that on pricing with quartz where I get more patterns to choose from?
The next pricing up would be anywhere from $60 to $65 a square foot, and that is actually going to be, if you want to walk over here, it's going to be quartz that looks like marble, which is a really big trend right now. Everyone, whatever's on HGTV is
whatever's on HGTV is what's popular.
What they want, when they walk in the door.
So it gives you a more marble look.
Yes.
Now, why wouldn't I just go ahead and choose marble? Like, you got a marble piece right here. Why didn't I just choose marble?
Marble is very soft. We were talking about the hardness scale. I think it's like a 3 on the hardness scale.
A 3 versus a 7 on granite. Wow.
So it scratches really easy. You can see on my sample right here, there's a lot of scratches, and we don't, baby this one compared to our granite samples. We use it and it's scratched. I mean, it can etch with acids, vinegar, stuff like that. So we really don't recommend marble for a kitchen. So that's where quartz would come in because it's a much better option than actual marble.
Okay, I get the marble look, and yet I don't get all the scratches. Now, would you recommend marble in a bathroom at all for a bathroom vanity?
It can be if you're very careful and like no nail polish remover or something like that. But it is very pretty in a bathroom. And you're not dealing with dark liquids like Kool-Aid or Gatorade or whatever, hopefully in the bathroom.
All right, okay. Now, is this a stone?
Yes.
Coming right out of the ground, just like granite?
Yes.
But yet it's a softer stone.
Correct.
Way softer stone.
Yes.
So quartz could be a really good alternative depending on the look that you want and depending on the use that you want to use it for, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I noticed it over here. Let's go over here, Josh. You have a bathroom vanity set up. So if you're going to redo your bathroom countertops, This is a really cool, kind of an up-to-date new look they're doing, which is the square sinks. So you can do square or you can do round, I guess, in the granite.
Yes, we have the square, and then we have oval. Don't sell a lot of oval anymore. We really are going to the square. Everyone's wanting really clean lines and really simple lines lately, so that this is mostly what I sell in vanities.
Oh, that's awesome. So, granite, do you recommend granite in the bathroom?
Yes, we do granite in the bathroom all the time. You have to seal it like we recommend. It's usually less susceptible to the dark liquids like a kitchen one is, so it works very well in a bathroom.
Okay, what do you sell more of in a bathroom? Granite, quartz,
Probably granite, just because pricing. Typically people, you know, are putting granite in their kitchen and then they want to save a little in the vanity. So usually granite. If they want that modern look though, we do the quartz for the marble look or the solid look.
Okay, that's awesome. Now you guys also sell cabinets, so it's cabinets in granite, right?
It is.
Okay, so it looks like you got a whole little display here of different types of cabinets you have.
Yes.
So basically you can come in and do all the measuring and help me lay out a beautiful kitchen.
Yes.
Do you guys have designers that then help design the kitchen for you?
Yep, that's what I do.
That's you. Okay, so that's Lacy,
that's
also,
also,
designer.
yes, Amy over here. She's also a designer too. So,
okay,
yes.
That's awesome. So you'll design my kitchen and you'll give me the choice of granites and quartz and all kinds of different cabinetry.
Yes.
That's awesome. So how long, let's just say I want to do my whole kitchen and I want to rip it out. I want to start over. Well, how long would you say the process is from design to finished product?
With us, it's very quick, and that is our major selling point. Not just our price point, but how quick we can get it in. If someone comes in to me today with some rough dimensions, I can get them a drawing and a close estimate today. I would come out if they're ready. I'd come out and do the final measure, make sure everything's good. Come back, double check all the measurements, and if they are ready to go, we sign a contract and put the deposit down, and from that point, we're typically about a week and a half to 2 weeks out for the install.
Wow, week and a half to 2 weeks. And then what is a typical kitchen installation? How much time does it take once you're on site?
Just the one day, as long as it's a normal size kitchen. If we get into a really big kitchen with a butler's pantry and all that, possibly into a second day, but almost all of our installs are 1 day.
Wow, that's incredible. So it doesn't have to be a 6-month project. I guess that's the point.
Right.
It can be really quick. So let's just say I want to do granite or quartz countertops. What's the turnaround time on that?
Same thing. We're usually about a week and a half out on the schedule. So really, you know, there's no, whether you do cabinets or granite, it's really about our calendar being available, not so much the products being, because we build our own cabinetry in our warehouse and we fabricate our own granite. So
you build your own cabinetry?
Yes, we do.
So you could do some little special sizes if I needed it. If I had an older kitchen or something.
Yes, it depends. Some semi-custom options, yes, like the deepness of cabinets or you know, things like that. Just little modifications we can do.
Okay, so pretty quick turnaround time on it. Now we're out here at your O'Fallon store, but you have many branches for people to go into to talk. Where else are your other branches at?
So we have one in Fairview Heights, Illinois, and we have one in U City.
Okay.
We have one in South County. And we have one in Baldwin on Manchester Road.
All right.
And then our warehouse in Earth City, they aren't a showroom, but that's where our slabs of granite are, and that's where we build our cabinetry. So when you purchase granite from us, you'll go to the warehouse to look at your slab so you can see what you're getting.
Yeah, so why do I want to go and look at my slab? What's important about it? Can't you just pick my stone out for me? I'm not so good at it. Can't you just do it? Why do I want to go there?
So with the small, consistent patterns, you can sometimes go off our samples. With the bigger color, you know, bigger patterns, colors, this is actually a really good example. I'm glad that they put this on my display because down here it looks gray, black, white. Over here, when you come over, I don't know if you can see really well, but there's a lot of pink in this down here. So if you don't go out to the warehouse to select your own slab, you're not going to know necessarily that that pink is in there. And when we get it in your house, most people probably aren't going to enjoy pink in their countertop.
And I do see that you have like a darker section right here, even behind the sink.
Yes.
So that could have ended up over here or over there.
Correct.
So you can pick out where you would like these different patterns to land
Right.
on your counter or
And
your
if we
island.
can lay it out, right, depending on the size and everything, we can sometimes cut around this. So if you love the slab but you don't like this, if we can get it to where that's your safe cutout or, cut it off before, we can try to do that.
Okay, and so how often do you get in new patterns of granite?
A lot.
A lot.
I don't even know. Sometimes I have customers come in and tell me a color they picked and I haven't even seen it. So
Okay.
just,
So you get in all kinds of new stuff.
right, I'd say a month, every couple months or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we have it now, we may not have it very long if it sells out, and we may not get it back in. It just depends on what our shipment has.
Okay, so that's awesome. Lots of new things to choose from all the time.
Yes.
So that's awesome. So there we have it. There's a difference between granite and quartz and solid surface. Hopefully that was a big help to you today. So if you're thinking about it and you just want to get a price on it, you want to talk to somebody, call Lacy at Cabinets and Granite. Thank you so much for giving us those important tips today. It was really, really great information. Thanks for joining us today at the St. Louis Home Chat. Again, I'm your host, Angela Dillmon. Let us help you find opportunities to live your dream lifestyle, to build wealth, and to leave legacies that matter. Join us next Tuesday when we talk with Glenn over at Cornerstone Mortgage for a brand new program that the state of Missouri has put out for loans. Until then, have a great week and we'll see you next Tuesday.